Hello everyone. So today we are starting with another aspect relating to Specific Relief Act, that is specific performance of contracts. This topic has been dealt under section 9 till section 25 of Specific Relief Act. So we are discussing section 9, 10 and 11 of Specific Relief Act. So without any delay, let's start with section 9. Basically, Section 9 is talking about certain kind of defenses which are available to a particular defendant in a suit under this particular act. So, the section is stating that defenses respecting suits for relief based on contract. So, this particular section is telling that wherever a suit has been brought up against any defendant under this particular law, he is eligible or entitled to claim all those defenses which are available to any defendant under any law relating to contract, be it Indian Contract Act or be any other law for the time being in force. If a particular person can claim defenses under those particular laws, same defenses can also be claimed by him under this particular act. For example, be it uncertainty of contract, be it fraud, misrepresentation, mistake, etc. All these defenses can be claimed by defendant under Indian Contract Act. So same can be claimed by him under this particular act also. Further, Section 10 talks about specific performance in respect of contracts, when contracts can be specifically enforced. The first and foremost thing the section tells us about is the discretionary power of the court. The section itself talks about the situation that it is purely upon the discretion of the court to allow or disallow specific performance of any contract. So, even if all the essential ingredients and requisite conditions of Section 10 have been fulfilled, still it is purely the discretion of court to either allow or disallow the specific performance of any contract. Further, section talks about situations when a particular contract can be specifically enforced. So first of all, it is telling that when there is no standard for ascertaining actual damage caused to plaintiff by non-performance of such contract. If we don't have any yardstick or measure to justify or to ascertain that how much actually damage has been suffered by plaintiff owing to non-performance on the part of defendant, then in such situation, specific performance of contract can be allowed by the court concerned. Secondly, when compensation in money for non-performance of contract would not be an adequate relief. So where non-performance has caused such a damage to the plaintiff that compensation in money is not an adequate relief, then also the court can order for specific performance of contract. Further, another thing which is important here is the explanation which is appended to this particular section. The explanation appended to this particular section is talking about breach of contract to transfer immovable property cannot be adequately relieved by compensation in money. Secondly, breach of a contract to transfer movable property can be adequately relieved except two situations. Basically, it is talking about rebuttable presumption of law. Whenever a case comes before the court under Section 10 of SRA, that is Specific Relief Act, the court the court will always presume, firstly, if the matter is relating to breach of contract of transfer of immovable property, the court will presume that compensation in money would not be an adequate relief. Secondly, if the matter is relating to breach of contract of transfer of movable property, in that situation, the court will presume that compensation in money would be an adequate relief, generally. Further, the section also talks about a situation where the suit is relating to breach of contract of transfer of movable property only. Still, there can be a situation that it is not adequately relieved by compensation in money. So it can be possible that yes, it is a breach of contract relating to movable property only, but still compensation in money would not be an adequate relief And such situations are: number one, where the movable property is of such a nature that it is not an ordinary article of commerce. Secondly, it is of some special value or interest to the plaintiff. Or thirdly, it consists of some kind of goods which are not easily obtainable in the market. Secondly, if the property was held by a defendant as the agent or trustee of the plaintiff, then also the court will presume rather, that compensation in money would not be an adequate relief, and in this particular situation, the burden of proof lies on the defendant to prove that compensation in money would be an adequate relief. Lastly, Section 11 of the particular Act talks about cases in which specific performance of contracts conducted with trust enforceable. So we are talking about a contract which is between the creator of trust and the trustee. So firstly, again, it is the discretionary power of the court to either allow or disallow the specific performance of such contracts. Secondly, the section talks about that wherever, while creating a trust, the creator of trust has imposed certain obligations or limitations on the power of trustee, then, if the trustee violates any such condition or limitation which has been imposed upon him by the creator of the trust, then such contract can be specifically enforced against the trustee. Means trustee can be stopped from violating such condition, or trustee can be compelled to act in consonance with the terms of contract. Further, the section also talks about a situation when a contract has been made by trustee in excess of his power or in breach of trust. Such contracts would not be specifically enforceable, as the trustee has exceeded his power. The limit of power has been crossed by the trustee while entering into a contract. Such contracts are not specifically enforceable under Specific Relief Act. So this was all about Specific Relief Act, especially specific performance of contract today, part 1. In the next video, I would be taking section 12 and 13 relating to Specific Relief Act. You can like, subscribe and share my videos, and please hit the bell icon so that you can always get updated about my new videos as soon as I upload them. And your comments and suggestions are most welcome. Your queries and questions are also most welcome in the comment section. Thank you.